Hey everyone, I'm Ashes,
And I'm Will. And
and this
this
is
is
Ashes
Ashes
and
and
Will
Will
Do
Do Disney.
Disney.
Each week, one of us will tell the other the history, facts, and stories behind the rides and attractions of Disney that have made special memories for generations.
Keep in mind that Ashes and Will Do Disney is not affiliated with or employed by the Walt Disney Company, and our views and opinions do not reflect theirs.
Now it's time to sit back, relax, and put on your ears because it's time for Ashes and Will Do Disney. Hello, everybody. I'm back again for this week's mini episode, and hopefully soon we'll be getting back to generating full blown episodes. I had some other things come up that have kind of delayed us getting going there. As I mentioned, we did get the house in Florida, which is where I ended up going to, was to help Ashes get that all finished up, which is why there was no mini episode next week. So do appreciate your patience while we were handling some of that business. And now I am back and ready to do some more Disney things. San Diego Comic-Con happened recently, obviously, and huge announcements for Marvel. They announced their whole next phase, which is being dubbed the Multiverse Saga. Lots of announcements for movies and TV shows for Disney Plus. So I'll try and post some of that stuff on the page, but definitely go check out some of those announcements. Should be some cool things coming up there. But with that, let's get into this week's topic. We've talked plenty about the Haunted Mansion in previous episodes. We did a two-parter at Halloween to go over the overall history of the attraction itself, and I've done many episodes on the Hatbox Ghost and Madame Leota. But there are some other very famous ghosts that reside in the Haunted Mansion, and we're even warned of their presence. Who are these three mischievous ghosts, and why do we need to be concerned? The hitchhiking ghosts are known as Phineas, Ezra, and Gus. This trio of happy haunts are essentially the faces of the attraction. The three members of the triad are the prisoner, the skeleton, and the traveler. The prisoner is known as Gus. He is the shortest member of the hitchhiking ghosts, and his most distinguishing features are his long white beard and ball and chain attached to his ankle. Gus is not just seen at the end of the ride, but also in the graveyard scene next to the executioner and the beheaded knight. He is participating in the Grim Grinning Ghost song, in which his singing voice is provided by Candy Candido. The skeleton is known as Ezra. He is a phantom-like figure who wears a bowler hat. His face is the same mold as that of the Hatbox Ghost and other skeletons in the ride. Finally, we have the Traveler, otherwise known as Phineas. He is a portly ghost with a hunchback. He wears a top hat and carries a carpet bag. Now, the names of the hitchhiking ghosts are only semi-official. These names come from a cast member created story to expand the mansion's history. In this story, their full names are Ezra Dobbins, Gus Gracie, and Professor Phineas Queeg. In 2011, tombstones were added on the outside of the mansion in Walt Disney World with those names. While promotional materials and editions of tombstones seem to confirm these are their names, they are not officially used in correlation with the characters in any iteration of the Haunted Mansion. In every version of the Haunted Mansion after the graveyard scene, the hitchhiking ghosts appear in the crypt with their thumbs out looking to hitch a ride. One of the three ghosts then appears in your doom buggy via reflection. At that point, the ghost host tells you that you've been selected to fill their quota, and a ghost will follow you home. At Walt Disney World, in February of 2011, the hitchhiking ghosts were replaced with CGI characters. However, this was a temporary replacement used to keep their presence in the attraction while new animatronics were being assembled. In April of 2011, new and improved animatronics with more detail were added to the ride. The mirror trick was even replaced with newer technology. The previous reflections just showed the ghost sitting in your doom buggy, which is how it still is in Disneyland. The new tech at Walt Disney World shows the ghosts interacting with guests. My personal favorite is when Phineas takes his head off and places it where yours should be. At the Haunted Mansion holiday at Disneyland, when the ride is overhauled for the Nightmare Before Christmas takeover, the hitchhiking ghosts are replaced with 3 jack-o'-lanterns that serve as Jack's gift to guests as they depart. If guests look closely where the hitchhiking ghosts normally stand, past Lock, Shock, and Barrel, you can see them in the distance, meaning they never left in the first place. The trio is also mentioned in the narration, as they are trying to hitch a ride on Jack's sleigh, but they are denied so Jack can continue his journey. The hitchhiking ghosts make other appearances in different parks. In Tokyo Disney's version of Star Tours, there are 3 droids at the end of the ride that are meant to be an homage to the hitchhiking ghosts. The droids are an RX series pilot droid, holding a Marksman H combat remote on a string to look like the prisoner. Then there are 2 F-Series repair droids designed to look like the skeleton with his hat and the traveler with his bag. The hitchhiking ghosts also appear on artwork for the new gondola Skyliner at Walt Disney World. In the 2003 Haunted Mansion film starring Eddie Murphy, we see a brief appearance from the hitchhiking ghosts. As the hearse is transporting the Evers family through the graveyard, we see them strike their signature pose. Shortly after, they appear in the hearse with the family. This startles Eddie Murphy's character, Jim, and he acknowledges them. While Ezra the skeleton observes silently, Phineas and Gus argue as to whether or not Jim can actually see them. Gus is certain that he can't see them and tells Phineas that Jim is lying, even though Jim tells him that he can see him sitting there in his stupid hat. When the Evers family exits the hearse, Phineas swears Jim was looking right at him, and Gus proclaims he must be psychic. That's the last we see of some of the most famous ghosts in the world in this movie. However, it was later revealed that in other drafts for the movie, the hitchhiking ghosts were supposed to play a larger role in the movie, providing comic relief. This version of the script saw the 3 as former servants of the mansion. Phineas was to be the mansion's head chef, complete with a French accent. Ezra was to be a former coachman, and Gus the groundskeeper. They also appeared sitting at a table in Mickey's House of Villains, a Halloween special of House of Mouse in which the villains plot to take over the House of Mouse. In 2004, Disneyland ran promotional ads featuring the ghosts riding different rides around the park. They have fun on rides like Tower of Terror, the Matterhorn bobsleds, and of course, the Haunted Mansion. However, they scream in terror when they see all of the happy singing dolls on It's a Small World. They are portrayed by the same actors from the movie. The trio also play a recurring role along Route 13 in the Tales from the Haunted Mansion book series. They have been featured as rare character meet and greets during the Halloween events. They are also prominently featured on Haunted Mansion merchandise. Ash has actually got me a Loungefly Haunted Mansion hat for Father's Day, and they're all over that hat. Even though the hitchhiking ghosts are arguably the most famous ghosts on the attraction, they don't have an official backstory. In the technical sense, they are considered Disney villains. We may not know everything about who these ghosts are, or why they are at the Haunted Mansion, and whether you think they are harmless, mischievous pranksters or villainous in their intent, one thing is for certain when you take a tour of the Haunted Mansion: beware of hitchhiking ghosts. That's it for this week's episode of Ashes and Will Do Disney.
Don't forget, we need your mouse tales. If you have a funny, weird, exciting, or just a favorite Disney memory, send it to ashesandwilldodisney@gmail.com so we can read them on the show.
And don't forget to follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Ashes and Will Do Disney. This is a public group to follow. We're also on YouTube at Ashes and Will Do Disney.
Please subscribe, rate, and review wherever you listen to your podcasts. Thank you so much for listening, and have a magical day.